Hey everybody, this is Michelle at Monarch Tea House, and I wanted to give you a couple tips on making that perfect cup of tea at home. We have customers who come in and they order tea here at the tea bar, and then they buy the tea and they take it home, and then they'll come back and say, you know, the tea just doesn't taste the same at home as it does when you make it here. One of the ingredients that you need for a good cup of tea is not only a good quality tea, but also really good water. But if your tap water doesn't taste very good, in other words, if you aren't going to drink a nice big glass of it because it doesn't taste very well, having your tea brew in it isn't going to make the water taste any better. When I'm at home, I use the water filtration system in my refrigerator. My husband uses bottled water that he likes to drink on a regular basis, and so that's what we use. So I would make sure that you have a good quality water to begin with. Second, you want to heat up your water. You can use just a regular kettle right on your stove. It doesn't have to be in a big fancy expensive kettle. Make sure it's clean. Make sure that if you have hard water, if there's hard water sediment in your kettle, make sure that you clean that out. You can just soak it in a vinegar bath and make sure that you get that hard water sediment out of your kettle so it's nice and clean. So now you're warming up or heating your delicious water in your kettle. So as soon as it comes up to a boiling temperature, so that's 212 degrees, you want to take it off of the heat. There's whistling kettles, and it's always, people enjoy listening to the whistle, and it is kind of fun. But what happens is you listen to that whistle and the water is boiling and boiling, and what you're doing is you're boiling the oxygen right out of your water. It begins to take the good taste out of your water. So right here I have my tanks that I use for my tea, and I have 3 tanks here because I have 3 different temperatures for my herbal tea, my green tea, and my black tea that I use. And every half hour, first off, it goes through a filtration system, so I have a nice good filtered, a good tasting water. And then every half hour, oxygen is pumped into the water so that it always is fresh and it tastes good. And so you want that oxygen in your water. So if you are boiling your water for more than a few seconds, okay, then you are releasing, or you're evaporating all that oxygen out of your water. And so as soon as it comes up to boil, take it off of the heat. And then your next step is you're going to put that water into the vessel that you're going to brew your tea. So whether it be your mug, your teapot, whatever vessel you are brewing your tea in. Now, if you are brewing an herbal tea, you can brew it at that temperature, 212 degrees. We brew all of our herbal teas for about 10 to 12 minutes, except for if it has cinnamon in it, a lot of cinnamon, or if it has ginger. Those 2 ingredients you really only want to brew for about 5 minutes. And the reason why is because it will become too strong. The cinnamon really takes over, same with the ginger, and it really doesn't taste very good after about 5 minutes. Now, if you're going to brew a green tea, let's say you're brewing your green tea. So you bring up your water to a boil, you take it off of the heat, and you pour it into your vessel, the water into the vessel that you're going to brew your tea. And you let it rest. You let the water rest or cool for 3 minutes. And that's going to bring the temperature down to about 174 degrees. After that 3 minutes, then you can brew your tea. The green tea, you don't want to brew longer than 2 minutes. Usually we brew for 1.5 to 2 minutes, no longer than that. One thing with green tea is if it is bitter, you've either brewed it too hot or too long. If you have to add a lot of sugar and creamer, I mean, it's one thing to add those things just to enhance the taste or because that's what you like. That's one thing, but if you are adding sugar and creamer and doctoring things up just to make it taste drinkable, it really shouldn't be that way. You've really burnt the tea, or you've just brewed it way too long, and all the tannins have been released, and it's ruined the tea. Okay, so cool the tea down, brew it for less time. Now for black tea, some manufacturers will say you can go ahead and brew your black tea at 212 degrees. We don't here. We usually brew it at about 206 degrees. Sometimes we'll go at 206 degrees, and we'll even let it be a little bit cooler than that, sometimes 195 degrees. So what you can do, if you have your normal kettle at home, you go up to 212 degrees at a boil, and you take it immediately off of the heat, and you put it in your cup or your vessel, okay? And you let it rest for a minute, then brew your tea. Black teas, you can brew up to 5 minutes. We typically only do about 4.5 minutes. If it is really bitter, you've brewed it either too hot or too long. So that's usually our tips. We've fine-tuned every blend to what we think we like to brew it at, so that we don't burn it. And so when you make your first cup of tea, if it's not what you like, don't give up too quickly, okay? If it's bitter, or if the herbal blend is too weak, or it's too strong, or something like that, it's just fun to try it again, brew it again. Try it cooler, try it at a hotter temperature, or try it for less time, or add more tea, or try it with less tea, and just have fun with it. That's what it's just fun. Talk to you later. See you, bye.